All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Heating Up podcast. This week, just myself and Mike here. Sasha is over across the pond. He made it to a soccer game, Premier League, for those who were worried about it. We did see the pics, he confirmed. So we're going to hold it down this week while he's on vacation. We have lots to discuss here. It's been a busy week in the sports world here. I feel like there's so much going on. Little sad March Madness ended, but as we're recording this Thursday, the Masters started today. So lots of fun things. NBA season's wrapping up. So we'll try and do our best to get to it all. So hang tight, listen to our music, and we'll be right back with it.
Hello, friends. I'm Jim Nance, and I'll welcome you to a tradition unlike any other.
He's heating up.
How about this, Cowboys?
Yeah! He's on fire. Cristiano Ronaldo. Sensational. Boom shakalaka.
You believe in miracles? Yes!
There it goes. See ya.
He's heating up.
Trying to get open, fires away.
Bang! It's over. The Bulls win at the buzzer. Touchdown. Unbelievable.
That still gets me hyped every single time. Every time.
Oh yeah, can't miss.
So we'll start off. It feels like it was a while ago now, but exciting weekend of college basketball. Monday night, I think the outcome we all predicted. We predicted it. Probably us and 80% of America. The UConn Huskies, national champions. It looks a little shaky for a little bit. It was a good game without the score necessarily reflecting that. At the end, I don't know how you felt about it. All I know is I was ready to go to bed the whole time because it is ridiculously late on a Monday night.
Yeah, 9:30 is pretty crazy. I kind of felt like I knew what UConn was doing, and I thought I was right, but I thought the game was over because they were just letting Edey get his points. They weren't getting into major foul trouble, and they just took everybody else out of the game. And it was like really apparent. The score sheet, like you pointed out some stuff that I'm sure you want to talk about, was pretty crazy. My stat that I was like, oh, this game's over at half was the lack of 3-point shooting. There was just nothing going on. It was all Edey or nothing.
Yeah, it was absolutely. I mean, their guard play I thought was pretty. I mean, I think it was Braden Smith. He played okay. I think he was the only other factor in this game, but even so, not enough to win them this title. I think Sasha was the one who sent us. I believe it was absolutely wild that Purdue only had one guy on their team who had any assists, and I believe it was 8, which is like not that many assists if that's the only guy on the court getting any.
Yeah.
And you can't expect to win a game like that. You absolutely can't. I mean, was that just how smothering UConn's defense was elsewhere? And like you said, they were just letting Edey have his way and, locking it down on the perimeter and kind of tightening up the lane there so no one else could really drive in because, unless you're over 7 foot like Edey, you didn't stand a chance. But that's like absolutely wild stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it showed it. It was the old like the Purdue's kryptonite, which is like Edey was their only option. 36 points. I mean, the guy, as I keep saying, he keeps playing himself higher up. His draft stock's going higher.
Yeah.
If they love Klingon, you gotta love Edey because they both have their flaws. But Hurley did a great job coaching them up. That game plan was perfect. It was perfect. This UConn team was more impressive to me than last year's. I just thought they were like last year's team kicked everybody's ass too, but there was something different about this. It just felt like even if it was kind of close, it really wasn't. It was just they had everybody right where they wanted them.
Yeah, this was in the bag. Yeah, it's insane. I mean, this was in the bag. Probably, I would say, I felt pretty confident to start dozing off about 3/4 of the way through the game because I just couldn't stay up any longer. And I mean, the first half was tight. Edey looked really good. I mean, he had some impressive possessions where he came back. I mean, the double block possession where he just turned around and had 2 monster blocks back to back. And then, I think he had a pretty significant dunk after that. Edey was showing some emotion, which was shocking to see. I was like, I'm scared right now because I feel like I have not seen that from him. And I was like, did they just unleash some other form of him that, we have never seen before? Him and Kling were going at it too. They had some elbowing kind of going around. I think the refs overall called it pretty well. There was some foul, a little bit of drama for UConn with Samson Johnson being their backup plan to Klingon coming in and getting 2 fouls like immediately upon entering the game. So UConn, I felt like the whole time I was kind of just holding my breath, hoping that didn't progress. But aside from that, I mean, 3/4 of the way through the game, you could just tell UConn was in possession and it never looking back from there. And it's so, like you said, so crazy from a college standpoint to have a team so absolutely dominant. And I feel confident saying they might just turn around and do that again because I don't know. Like, I know they're going to lose a lot of guys this year, but
They
they
lost
lost
a lot of guys last year.
Exactly. Yep. And most of this year was like, I mean, Klingon was a force, but everyone else is, Castle's a very young, talented freshman. I think he will do well in the NBA. He's very athletic. He did not play well in the national championship game, which you tend to see freshmen not do that because sometimes the moment is like a little bigger for them. But the rest of the guys, like, they're talented basketball players, but they're not probably going anywhere in the NBA. They'll be playing, Cam Spencer, Tristan Newton, probably all Europe material, playing overseas material. But their team, just everyone together, I mean, it was just unbeatable. Like, if 2 or 3 guys had a bad night, there were 2 or 3 other guys who could step up, which is just like so crazy at a college level.
Yeah, and don't doubt like the power of Hurley to, like, with NIL and with the money that these guys can make. Like, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm it seems like Klingon, because he's like, some people have him as like a top 5 pick. He'll probably be gone. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to talk some of these guys into, coming back, even if they have an NBA shot, because of the money that they could make. I mean, being a 2-time defending national champion with a chance to be 3-time, and is got to be a reason. If you can make also, $1 million doing NIL stuff, why wouldn't you come back? He seems like an amazing coach to play for. You saw the development from Klingon from last year to this year. He's a great motivator. Like, if I played for a guy like that, and I could make money, and it wasn't like I make nothing or I go to the NBA, like, it would be a really tough decision for me. And he's going to have no problem recruiting through the transfer portal and just through the old school way of, like, recruiting people out of high school. UConn's got a real shot with him at the helm. Like, I really think we might be witnessing, like, I hate to be like recency bias, but he could be an all-time, maybe he could go down as the best college coach ever. Who knows what the run they're on?
Yeah, no, for
He's
sure.
hungry.
And I think there's something to say too about these guys, right? Like the mid-level guys like Carabam, right? He's like a very solid player for them, sophomore this year. Could maybe have some NBA potential, like Dewey. I don't know about this year. I think he should stick around. But these guys are absolute studs on, like, a big college campus. Like, everything kind of, I feel like their fame, I guess you want to call it, like at the college level, is far bigger than what a lot of these guys are going to be at the NBA or international level. So if Hurley plays to that, I think he definitely could get a few of them who are eligible, to stick around another few years. And I see no reason that they can't run it back to, or at least, I don't think they'll have a down year by any means next year. I don't know if under Hurley will have a down year, really. I think they've built up to this, and I don't know if it's coming down.
They already have the best odds to win the title again. Oh, come on. Oh, I'm back. They already have the best odds to win the title again.
Yeah, which is crazy, like so insane.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, and the NIL just is like still, like, that's still evolving. So these guys are going to make more and more money. There's so much opportunities for them, and I think that's really good for college basketball. I don't love the transfer stuff as much. I think it's a great opportunity for people in, like, mid-major schools that really do develop a chance to go up and play for the big time, like, team. I hate the bouncing around between the big teams. Like, I don't think that's good for the players either.
No, I think it was Jay Billis said on Part of My Take that he felt the way to kind of counter that would be like contracts, either it's just like 2-year, 3-year contracts, for these guys in the NIL deals, or almost like think about like jobs careers that have sign-on bonuses that like locks you in, like you have to give a certain amount back if you don't stay there for X amount of time. Probably 2 years would be reasonable. Some players 3 maybe, just because of the college career is already only 4 years, sometimes 5, for these guys. But I think that'd be the best way to counter it because it takes away from it when it's just an evolving, goal. And I think that Doran, I feel like part of what's special about these UConn teams is some of these guys, it's repetitive. We're seeing these guys around, like they're not just doing this like a Kentucky one and done team where, it's a bunch of 5-star high school recruits coming in and then, rinse and repeat for the following year. Like you get to see some of these players evolve, like Klingon, Newton, Caravan and stuff. And I think people like that. And it's, experience also wins you these games.
You want to be connected to these athletes. It's going to grow. I think part of the hype around the women's tournament this year, which, I watched some of the games. I don't necessarily think it's a better product. I really don't. But they had consistency. You returned all these players. So as these storylines build, it's not like, and they're gone next year.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark was 4 years. Angel Reese, 4 years. The girl on UConn. This is where I'm going to fall off with my
Beckers,
Paigey buckets. The storylines and the connections that the fans build is that's what sports are all about. And look at Kentucky this year; they got bounced. I think it is a better product. I love the idea of them having to commit, and they also old man shouting at clouds. They also get a college degree, if they stay all 4 years.
Yep, that is true.
It's just, I think it'll be great if especially in college basketball, we start seeing these guys stick around longer. In football, they have to because they're just not developed. Right. But it'd be nice to see that in basketball. I'd like to get to know these guys on these teams a little better.
Yeah, I think everyone likes that. Getting to know the guys on the teams, getting to know the coaches. I mean, I think Hurley's good for that. It's just, like we said, I think everyone's been saying we lost so many, kind of consistent staples in college basketball with Coach K, Boeheim, guys like that going, where I think Hurley's good for the game if he can stick around and, just kind of be consistent with one, and not even just changing around programs, because guys hop around schools a lot more now than they used to as well from a coaching standpoint. And I think everyone just likes the consistency. Everyone likes to know what they're talking about, right? So, it's easier to keep up with. For the life, the fan who doesn't want to watch all season or watch every game, it's easier for people to keep up with. If there's consistency, and more people are going to watch it because of that.
Yeah, I remember, I've never been a huge college basketball guy until the tournament, but when I was in high school and college, probably more middle school and high school, I loved the JJ Redick and Emeka Okafors and those guys. I mean, they all played more than 1 year in college, and I was into it because you got to watch these guys become something. Steph Curry and Davidson. He was there for multiple years. Jimmer Fredette at BYU still made it to the NBA, but in the period they were in college, you got to watch them dominate at that level, and that makes it more exciting for me, more of an NBA fan, to actually see these guys versus they get drafted, and I'm like, really? That I watched a tournament. Yeah. Why is that guy the third pick? Because I barely got to see him. And Hurley with an all-time crazy coach move. Did you see him push his player in the middle of the play?
I was that was the most Dan Hurley thing ever. And I feel like he just had an ultimate, he was not there. That was out of body experience. I feel like it's just that's really one of those things where after you probably are wait, did I just do, he probably didn't even know he did that until it was brought to his attention, wild. Absolutely crazy.
I love that guy. I saw it and I was like, oh my God, I could see myself doing something like that. He really
just get wrapped up
in this game. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah. No, it's great. I mean, it's definitely good for college basketball. I think overall, I think it was a great March Madness. I feel like March Madness, for me, the excitement, there's so many games of it. No matter what, it's awesome to have that much basketball on. It's fun to follow teams along, and have some villains to root against. That would be ED for me. But I think it was a good tournament. It's over. We have to wait a whole year for it. I'm always how am I going to survive until then? And then I remember football exists, and I think we'll be okay.
Yep, and I didn't lose. For everybody keeping score at home, I actually won a little bit of money this year, which is great. So the stigma of me being the worst college basketball gambler is now off. Thank God. It's more fun when you could bet all the games in the beginning still for me. But I think that's because I didn't go to a major college, and I didn't lock into Duke or UNC when I was a kid. I just didn't. It wasn't there for me.
Yeah, no, I'll probably still never really get into college basketball during football season because you just can't. Like, I don't know. It's kind of a little meaningless. Football's on and stuff, but I think I always say every year I'm like I'm going to start following it from the beginning, and then I hop in around like February after the Super Bowl, like I always will, and that's probably what I'll do next year. But maybe I'll follow on for UConn and see if I can get them at some better odds for national championship after some early losses, like in the preseason Bahamas or Hawaii Maui Classic,
Yeah,
like
the Maui
November.
Classic. Maybe, yeah, you got to hope for that, but who knows? I mean, I'd be shocked if they weren't like the number one team in the country again next year.
Yeah, yeah.
Just seems
So
like
crazy.
they're all business. Yep.
Yep. Well, from one exciting sports period to another, like I said earlier, we have the letdown of college basketball, and then a few days later, the Masters are here. It's exciting. I don't know if you've had a chance to watch any today. The few times I've tried to check in, I think there was like rain delay issues and stuff. They're playing now as we're recording this Thursday evening, but I'm excited to hear your takes on this. I know you've been following golf a little bit more closely than I have this year, so I'll let you kick it off.
A tradition unlike any other. The Masters has become football. I live and die. I live and die with football. The Masters is my favorite sporting event of the year.
Yeah.
I can't. Like, I'm so excited for the last two rounds, just because I get to be home and it's fun. Like we try to recreate the Masters at my house, so we do egg salad sandwiches and pimento cheese sandwiches. I make azalea cocktails, which if you haven't had it, Google it. Make some this weekend. They're delicious. It's vodka, pineapple juice. Well, I'm telling you now, anyways. But a pineapple juice and a little bit of grenadine. It is phenomenal, and maybe that's just because we're in the spirit. But it got rain delay, but the weather ended up being much better. And I haven't checked since we've started, but I think they're going to get through. I think everybody's going to get through before. Well, let's see who's
dark.
Now, there's probably going to be some played tomorrow, but it's not going to be as bad as they thought. The biggest thing would be not having round 2 leak into Saturday, so that way the cuts are being decided on round 3. Round 1 and 2 can be a little jumbled, but they should be able to get through all of it, so that's great. Scotty Scheffler, he's right there. He's 4 under right now. I would never like to bet the favorites, but I've listened to a lot of stuff. I watched a lot of golf, and I felt like I still bet my underdogs, and I'll tell you all about those. But I did put money on Scheffler because it's like he seems like he's inevitable. He's the best golfer since Tiger Woods.
His consistency is unreal, and I feel like that's very hard to do. As anyone who's played golf, consistency is probably the hardest part about it. So
yeah, and he's been putting well, and that was what killed him last year, and he's been playing well. What's crazy right now, and it's so early, Bryson DeChambeau -7 and is just striping the ball everywhere, and he looks incredible. But again, leader so far, the leader through the first round probably will end up being the first round leader. But it's a long tournament, and tomorrow's another day, and it's just that's what I love about it is like you go away for 2 hours and come back, and one of your guys is either shot up or dropped off the board. It's just I don't know, it's so exciting. Rory McIlroy's staying in it. Wyndham Clark, who, if you're watching golf, I mean, he shot onto the scene last year, winning the U.S. Open, and I think he's won 3 tournaments since then. He's the number 4 ranked golfer in the world already, and that's a lot of that is LIV not being included in the world golf rankings. But he's right there at -2. He's tied for 8th with McIlroy. My big sleeper, and I put probably so far too much money watching him not do so hot. Shane Lowry, the big Irishman. I had him at 55 to 1.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And Tiger and Phil are hanging in there. Phil at +1. Tiger's even through 5, which is good. I've got to bet on them both to make the cut as well.
Okay.
That's the one time my betting so far.
The one time I checked in today, I saw Tiger like power walking through like trees, and I was like, this doesn't look good. But that was only a brief glimpse of all I saw amidst the rain delay.
He's so jacked. I don't know. Do they? And this is not accusing anybody. Do you think they test for performance enhancing drugs on the PGA Tour? I don't know that.
I feel like in the initial Bryson era, maybe like when he first came on the scene, and it was like, oh my god! But he's slim.
Talking about how jacked he was and saying basically like I'm on stuff.
Yeah, He's
All
like,
right.
but he's also in the polar opposite. I almost didn't recognize him today when I saw him out there.
Yeah, well, Tiger looks like Tiger's had the face and body transformation of who's the bad podcasting. Who's the kid from the Disney Channel, like the
Zac Efron. I know you were going to
yeah,
say this, sir.
he's
Yeah.
got Zac Efron face. Like his
Yeah.
chin is all like he's very look, and whatever gets him through 4 rounds, I don't care. I was just curious if there's no way that's natural.
No, he's probably whatever he's taking, he probably could get medically written off because of his injuries and pain control.
Right,
So I don't
right.
think he's getting busted anytime soon.
Well, if I gotta break an ankle to start looking the way Tiger looks right now, I might take a fall down a flight of stairs. Yeah, but he looks. I hope he can make it through. I think that's really good. I mean, there's nothing better, even if just having him somewhat in it, it will be so exciting, and it makes for good TV.
Yeah,
but
it does.
I think we're gonna have a. There you go, Scheffler, another birdie. He's 5 under now, second place. He's plus. We're only halfway through the first round. He's almost even odds to win. That's Tiger Woods shit.
Yeah,
that's never the way golf is betting. So.
No, he never has bad days. Like a bad day for him is still like a top 10 performance in a big major. I feel like he just, I don't know how he does it.
I know. Well, the only thing that might take Scotty Scheffler down is his wife is expected to have a baby this month, and he did say he would leave the tournament if she goes into labor. So
yeah, I feel like though I heard she's not due till the end of the month, so I feel like that's one of those things like you're obligated to say maybe it will happen. But I was asking my husband this earlier. What happens if you bet on him and that happens because it's not an injury? Okay. So it's not. So you lose. So it's not a wash. It's not a push. Yeah. You lose. Oh
no, it's not a push. Yeah, you lose because they can. It's the same way if you bet Steph Curry to hit 5 threes. As long as he gets out there, if he rolls an ankle, I know it's not, but it's once they've participated. That's the bet. That's probably like maybe he was like plus 300 if his wife wasn't due this month, but they factored it in and made it plus 400. Vegas thinks of everything, trying to get people to. He's not. That probably won't happen. But what a story if he did.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
First child. I mean, you got to do it. But if you're up 3 shots in the 4th round, you really leaving?
I don't know. Something tells me he'll win another though, and I mean, I feel like he even knows. Like he's around to stay in the golf world, I think. So maybe I just
would be a tough call.
Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, my approach is I'm sticking with Rory as I always do because I don't know, or just a little PGA Prince. I feel like he's just gonna have it. I don't know. I feel like he's due, and I say this every year because everyone feels like he's due because he hasn't done anything in a long time. But I feel like if I stop betting on him now, he's going to do something, and then I'll just feel like an idiot. So I'm committed. I fully committed to just. I didn't take him to win top 5. I have him in a few parlays. I think I'll get to mine in our heat check for the week. But yeah, that's what I'm going with for this tournament. I think Brooks is going to have a good tournament. Hopefully, Matt. I keep saying tournament. It's the Masters. It does not deserve to be called tournament. I think Brooks is going to have a good Masters. But yeah, I'm excited. Hopefully, some nice weather. I love watching it at Augusta, like when it's all nice and sunny and everything. Just looks so nice and peaceful there. It's just a beautiful place. So.
Yeah, well, Rory, he's tied for 8. He's -2 right now, and his big problem in the Masters, especially, is a really bad opening rounds. And he's like battled his way back, and but nowhere near able to be in contention. He's got the third right now. He's plus 900 to win. He's got the third best, well, depending if you're third worst odds if you're betting. He's looked like he changed, or he didn't. I was listening. He didn't participate in the par 3 contest yesterday, and he gave a very brief interview. And part of that is that I think his thought process is that he's been too into all the stuff, too busy fighting live, too busy being the leader of the PGA, and now he's just focusing on golf. And so far so good.
Yeah, I think that's a good approach. So, we'll get a little bit to the Masters later when we close out with our heat check. But moving on, NBA, the regular season is capping up on us and closing up on us. Oh my God, I can't speak today. Closing in on us.
Capping
everything. And we're going to give a recap of the end of the season here as we head into the playoffs. I'm excited to get into it. NBA playoffs. I'm, Heat fan, dedicated. I'm excited for OKC this year too. So I'm going to be a little torn and rooting for both of them because I think, the Heat are where we want them to be, slight underdog going into this. Probably, I haven't checked this today, but they're in the playing game, I believe, or most
What is
likely.
going on with them?
I don't. Maybe they like this. Like I feel like they like to be knocked down and then build back up again for the playoffs. Like they like that. They need the Heat culture is like we need everyone to count us out before we come back and come alive and fight our way back into it. I don't know, scrappy dog sort of play thing. But
Ridiculous.
I know. I'm excited for OKC. I think they can make a good playoff push. They're young, so in terms of making it to a championship game, I don't know. I don't know if the expectation is there or not, but I think this would be a big year for them to at least get some experience and make a deeper, playoff run. So it'll be fun to watch. I don't know. You have anything else recap wise on that?
I've got one. I've got a new addition to my. I would like to remove the Clippers from my teams that can win the NBA Finals. Okay. And I would like to replace them with the team that I think will make it out of the West now, the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Okay.
As I say it, my brain tells me Karl Anthony Towns exists, and you can't think that. But I think the power of Anthony Edwards can somehow trump the amazing negative power that is the returning from injury Karl Anthony Towns. They just play incredible defense. Gobert's one of the guys who I think can do an effective job on Jokic. And I think Anthony Edwards is going to be, like maybe the best player in the NBA pretty soon.
Yeah.
He's incredible.
I feel like,
he plays well in the moments.
Yeah.
He's Conley, veteran point guard. Naz Reid is like an incredible backup center. They've got Slow-Mo, what's his name? Oh my God. He played. Well, anyway, skip that. What's his name? Oh my God. Hang on. Everybody start the clock till I can find it. You want to hear about Josh Allen for a minute? There, I said it. Where are we at?
26 minutes. Is this a record? I think so.
I know, and I actually had a story I wanted to tell you about him. Kyle Anderson, Slow-Mo, because he's the slowest basketball player in the NBA. Like the way he moves. Watch a little bit of Timberwolves. Kyle Anderson, and you'll understand. He's the slowest guy.
Is it an effective slow or no?
Yeah. It's like an annoyingly, everything is but you can't block him. He's just very weird. He was on the Spurs, and then he was on the Grizzlies when they were really good for a minute. He's one of those guys that he's always on the bench of a good team.
Okay.
And he's coming off the bench for them now. Yeah.
Okay.
So I like them. And the East, I have no clue. And I'm sure Sasha would be really upset because of Julius Randle being out for the year. Giannis looks like he strained his calf.
Yeah.
This looks a lot like the Kevin Durant injury when he was on the Warriors. KD strained his his calf and rushed back to be in for the playoffs in the first game back towards Achilles.
Yeah.
So
the
East is a mess. The East is weird. It seems like it's all Boston.
Yeah, but someone tells me it's too obvious. I feel like it isn't going to be the Celtics. I don't know. It's just shaping up too perfectly for them.
I still like the Heat.
I know. I'll keep right with them. I feel like this is. Maybe things are falling into place for them. Next thing you know, something happens with the Celtics, and then there you are, Jimmy Butler. Going into the NBA Finals once again. But
it's the Heat or it's Philly, I guess, if Embiid can be in shape.
Yeah, no, we don't root for Philly around here, but they can. I don't know. I feel like Philly will be competitive in it, but I just feel like their team they can't get it done in my eyes. I just don't see it. I can't see them going out there and coming away with a big title.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems like a very open, playoffs situation, and then so that kind of makes me scared that it's just going to be Denver, Boston again. Boston might just sweep every series they're in. That's a real possibility here.
Yeah, which would be insane and not great watching for the playoffs either.
No, I don't think. But this might be like a UConn betting alert.
I know.
Take Boston with the spread. Put a pin in that. Maybe
Yeah.
we just start betting them whatever their minus is every night.
Yep. Yeah.
Get rich.
I can't argue against that. I don't see any answers for or against, I guess. So, but yeah. So, and then we have so much going on sports wise. MLB. I mean, last week we talked about it. You guys were riding high in the Yankees. They're still playing well. Came back to earth a little bit here. Not looking so hot. Orioles are coming for them. Sitting just 7-4, and Yankees are 10-3 now, I believe. Right. So I think at the top of the AL East. So I don't know. It's too early for me to really get worked up over baseball. I did want to share, though, some things about the Ohtani scandal that my brother sent me earlier. Absolutely wild stats here. Okay, so I haven't even listened to such. The name, is it Muzar? How do you pronounce his interpreter's name?
That's a trap. You're not gonna trap me into saying that.
Otani's friend and an interpreter. That we should know his name at this point because it's been in the news enough, but here we are. He has allegedly placed 19,000 wagers between December 21st or December 2021 and January 2024. This is according to the Department of Justice. Shout out the Department of Justice. His average bet has been $12,800. Winning bets $142 million, just slightly above where you are, Mike, I think. Yep. Losing bets $182 million. Total losses, that's where we're at, the $40 million. Like, that just sounds insane to me. Like losing $182 million. I mean, I know we knew all this, but like when you see the numbers broken down from there, and he never bet on baseball, is what according to the Department of Justice. So I think that's how this is all going to get smooth over here.
Yeah, how convenient.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know. God, I hope my betting trackers never get released.
Do you think you're plus minus on the wagers? 19,000 wagers in the past 3 years.
For me, truthfully, in the last 3 years, I'm less than that. But I don't think I'm at a very healthy number either. And I keep track of everything which will never be. If I die, you guys can release it on our Instagram. My Excel, whoever wants to read that. That's just so that my wife knows that I'm at least keeping track of my degenerate problem. 19,000. Where are we at here? Let's see. I can give you a slight. We're not at 19,000. We are in the thousands though of bets.
Okay. And this is dating back how long for you though? A long time, longer than that, right?
4 years.
Okay. All right. So you have some more.
$19,000. Yeah, right. I gotta up my. I guess I gotta change my unit. Holy cow.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's really all I had on baseball. I mean, I think the story on that's slowly fizzling out here, and we're all of a sudden never going to hear anything more of this ever again, is what I get is going to happen.
I saw a phenomenal Instagram video, and it was Shohei, answering a question in Japanese, and they were dubbing it over, and he was just saying, like, I really like Scotty Scheffler at plus 400, and then, like, he pauses, he starts talking. It's like, I like Tiger and Phil making the cut. It was one of those. This has been very good for the internet as far as making jokes.
Yeah.
But it is crazy. A guy making $150,000 a year could get a $13 million. Like to get a bankroll from a. I mean, it's obvious that it wasn't him.
Yeah.
But
no, for sure.
I mean, we'll just see. It just shows, like, if you're powerful and influential enough.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So before we start heat track,
also, can we just say the Bills' curse might be over?
Okay, I was just going to bring up the Bills in this because I thought you were going to get away with not talking about Stephon Diggs. We haven't recorded.
I'm not here to talk about Stephon Diggs. I'm talking about O.J. Simpson.
Oh, I did see that today too. It's in peace, O.J.
We're not going to celebrate it, but I have been filled with the thought that maybe that is the thing that breaks our curse.
Is that what the fans are saying out there? Is this
actually,
you?
This is all me. This
is you. Okay.
And yes, we did trade. Yes, okay, we did trade Stephon Diggs.
I know. You had time to calm down. Walk us back because that was last week at this point because we recorded early last week.
Okay.
Did you expect this?
No.
I
thought next year for sure he was getting traded or cut.
Okay.
But so much dead cap that it's a very, like, I mean, I got texts from everybody, and my thing is like, we don't play football on Sunday. We play football in September. Plenty of time to figure this out, and I'm trusting that our front office will have a plan in place. Like this wasn't just done like shooting from the hip, and obviously for it to get done, Josh Allen had to have okayed it, and
Yeah.
good for him. Get him out of there. He was. Look at what Houston did the second they got him. They voided the remaining years of his contract to allow him to become a free agent because they want him to perform. And if he's got this contract, they must feel like they're not going to get the best version on and most importantly off the field from Stephon Diggs. There's a lot more to the story that we'll probably, the same way with Shohei Ohtani, there's just things you're never going to know. But you tell me why they trade a 4-time 1,000-yard receiver, eat $31 million in dead cap. However, I do think that our second-round pick that we got for that is a very high pick for a receiver.
Yeah. No.
Amari Cooper got traded for what, a 6th-rounder?
Yeah. Don't remind me. Don't remind me of that.
The receivers, I think Christian McCaffrey, did he go for a 1st-rounder? I don't think maybe. I don't even think it was a 1st-rounder. I think it was a 2nd-round pick.
Okay.
So what a haul for a receiver in your 30s who's a troublemaker. And the Vikings, that's not the Texans pick. That's the Vikings 2nd-round pick. The Vikings are going to be, they have Sam Darnold as their quarterback this year. That's going to be like in between the 30s and the 40s. It's basically a 1st-round pick.
Yeah. So, well, it sounds like you've come to terms with it. Pretty good.
Yeah, I would be on the, I'm telling you, I said it weeks ago or months ago. I want DK Metcalf, but I think we are really in contention to get a guy like T. Higgins or to get a guy like Devontae Adams or God, imagine if we could get Justin Jefferson. We're not going to go down that fantasy land for me. Or Cortland Sutton in Denver, who's been visibly upset and has posted things online being upset that they traded that whole team. If we could turn around and get rid of Diggs and get a guy like Cortland Sutton for a 4th-rounder, what a home run. And draft a receiver. There's talks that we might trade with the Giants. Thank God Sasha's not here for that.
Yeah. No.
Get up to that 6th pick and get one of these top receivers. So who knows? Still got plenty of time.
Good. I think it was the move anyway. From what I mean, I obviously don't follow as close as you, but it just seemed like the drama and the tension over the past, even greater than the past year. It just, I don't know. He's a playmaker for sure in the big moments, but is it really worth that? Maybe, clearly, maybe not. And I think sometimes that's the better move for the locker room, especially when the Bills, with the position they're going to now, I think the locker room has to be all in on what the plan is for this upcoming year in order for them to have success, more so than ever, just based on how the past few years have went. So it sounds like it was probably the best move for overall team purposes.
Yeah, I was shocked and then kind of very okay with it pretty fast.
Yeah. So, well, and we had to touch on the NFL. Do you have any? You mentioned Josh Allen earlier. Did you get to it, or do you have more on him?
There was a phenomenal video online. And maybe you can share. I don't know if people have you ever watched what they say is golf YouTube golf. It's like a whole genre of people posting videos of them doing rounds of golf and stuff.
Can't say I have. Can't say I've been on that corner of the internet.
So Josh Allen did a round with let me see if I can find this guy. Josh Allen. Grant Horvat is his name, and they did it's 1 hour long, so you really got to be committed. This might just be a me thing. This might be the longest video I've ever watched on YouTube.
That's
they played a round of golf. This guy's like a YouTube golf influencer, I guess.
Okay.
And they played a round. He gave Josh Allen. They played at his home course, we're at his country club. And he gave Josh Allen a 10-shot lead to start, and they played 18 holes.
Okay.
Hilarity ensues. And also, Josh Allen, I'm not going to spoil it, but Josh Allen's a good golfer, everybody. It was a really fun video to watch. I'll send you if you want to post that.
Yes.
I found it really enjoyable, and that guy's YouTube is very good. I watched some other golf videos.
Free ads for him. We'll give it. We'll share it.
Yeah, shout out Grant.
Yes, shout out Grant. So, well, of course, we had to get Josh Allen in. So now we'll close it out. none other than the heat check. We had a little bit of a rough week last week, but overall, still doing pretty well in our overall. I feel like we need to stop giving our record because, again, this is what we did in football season. When you get to have too much of a record, no one cares. So we're doing well. We're plus money if you're following up with us, or plus units. So that's good. Mike, I'll let you start off. Did you go Masters this week for your heat check, or what are you thinking?
I did, and I'm doing it in spite of the fact that I know where we're at, because I was going to give this pick anyways and just prior to the round, but we're in it. By the way, Scheffler now 6 under. This guy's on fire. I'm still doing it. I'm going to take give me Brooks Koepka to win the Masters.
Okay. What is he at now? Let's give it
He's
to the people.
+1 through 6. He's tied 43rd. But,
okay.
We still got 56 holes of golf after this, and Scheffler's going to be wrapping up at around -6 or -7. So there's a long way to go. But, it was a few years. I mean, every year somebody rallies back from 5, 6 shots back. So
yeah,
that's my pick. It's like plus. Okay. I got it at plus 2,000. I bet you if you took it now, I'll tell you, he is at plus 3,500, 2,800, plus 2,800, 28 to 1.
Okay. That's
you don't put your house on it, but put a couple dollars.
No, I like it. Well, my bet is far more conservative in terms of the odds. So this is good for the conservative gamblers out there. I'm going with Rory McIlroy, Jon Rahm, Brooks Koepka, all to go top 30. I parlay that. Odds are not great, to be honest. It's plus. It was like plus 110, but you could get a boost. There's a lot of nice boosts out there for the Masters. I feel like they're all pretty consistent guys. I think all people. I feel like Jon Rahm. I'm not really like a fan of him or anything. I don't even really want to root for him, but he's just like a good. He's been playing very well. I feel like he's just destined to be up there. Probably going to be up higher than top 30, I think. Hoping for higher than that one for Rory. I honestly think all three of these guys could go top 10 if you were really feeling like crazy, want some better odds. I think it's certainly possible, but to keep it conservative, I went top 30 for them. So
he's there. So far, so good.
Yeah. So I took that this morning in a panic because I was like, wait, I want to get this in before like the Masters started. I don't know. I was all panicking that like they might lock some of the odds and stuff like that. So I did it at like 6:30 this morning. I got out of the shower, but that was my thoughts. And I think it should be pretty good. We'll keep an eye on it and see. I don't even know who's the biggest variable out of all of this. I feel like maybe Brooks. I feel like he can be the most like spotty out of all of them to have a bad round, but that totally goes against everything you just said for him to win. So we'll see.
I know he's had the big thing with him is that he's been wavering between using his regular putter and using one of those mallet putters.
Mm-hmm.
The long ones that go up into the chest. And he has like up until like the last rounds that he played in Live, he had both clubs with him. So I mean, you probably want to have your putter figured out by now.
Yeah.
But plus 1 through 6. Rahm's tied 30th right now, so you'll probably get good odds on this now. McIlroy's tied for 6. That's going to be.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be really involved this weekend.
Yeah. So it should be fun. We'll see. Like we said, Sasha's on vacation. We'll see if maybe he has anything in mind while he's away to give us from there. But yeah, it was good episode. Lots to cover, lots of sports going on. We'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming as the three of us next week. I will share that lovely link that Mike already has sent me of Josh Allen. So it will be on the Instagram for everyone to watch. If you're needing some downtime, as if people aren't having enough golf this weekend, maybe we can let them wait till after the Masters.
Just throw it on in the background. It's nice. It's really, I don't know. It's if you like the Bills, you want to get to just see Josh Allen just being a normal guy, and also playing that other guy, Grant. It was a very good round of golf to watch.
Okay. Well, I'm coming. I'll check it out. Maybe on like 1.5 speed or something. We'll do. So,
Did Sasha go streaking? Do we know?
I mean, as far as I know, they made it to Ireland. So I'm going to guess that he has not been detained in London, is what I would guess.
That's too bad. Sasha, if you're out there, you let me down. Down.
So that's reassuring. So, yeah.
But his team won, right? Tottenham won.
Oh, I don't follow the Premier.
They won 3-1. So shout out to the hot Spurs for doing it for Sasha.
Shout out. So Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll be happy. Sasha, we missed you this week, but we'll be back next week, as always, getting ready for NBA playoffs. So that will be exciting, and obviously recap the Masters, baseball, lots of exciting stuff, some interviews coming up as well. So any closing remarks, Mike, before we close off here?
No, that's it. Just
No.
settle in, enjoy the couch this weekend,
Mhm.
watch the Masters
Yes.
once a
So
year.
thank you, everyone, as always, for listening. We appreciate you all. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Heating Up Podcast. If you want to go on YouTube, see our faces. Always a better way, I feel like, to get involved in the podcast is actually watch it if you can. So we appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe, all of the things that people usually say about that stuff. And we will catch you next week.